I really love to travel and I really love technology, and as I am planning my next trip to the US for a road trip in November, I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge, and I actually wanted to use AI and ChatGPT to plan my trip. So we all know, and I do know, that planning trips can be actually stressful, overwhelming, because you have so many things to do. But with a good strategy, I promise you will save so much time and so many headaches. It's simply by using AI and ChatGPT, and I actually want to share with you my tips and tricks to make it faster, easier by using ChatGPT. So basically, I'm already using AI in my daily job. I am a designer, and most of the time I tend to use ChatGPT to answer some questions and lead me towards some good user experiences, or just give me example of already existing designs. I am already using it, but as I am planning my trip, I thought it would be a nice idea to actually try to implement this, and I was very surprised to see how much it was helpful for me. AI simplified planning, made it easier to discover new experiences, and basically streamlined the entire booking process for me. Instead of spending hours of research, I actually just got a quick conversation with ChatGPT, and it really helped me going through the whole process in a second. But there's tricks to using it well, and especially when it comes to traveling, and this is what I want to tell you today. There's one thing we need to tackle today, and it's how do you actually create a useful travel prompt for AI? To create a good prompt, it is crucial to ask questions in your native language. AI models, basically, they can speak and understand many languages, and your grammar matters. So the more accurate your punctuation is, or spelling or grammar, the better the AI will be able to understand you. So I try to follow this guide and this rule, but most of the time I end up writing it in English. This is just a bad habit because I speak English for my videos, and sometimes my brain is just like all messed up, and I also write in English sometimes. But I should do it in French all the time. You will also need to be as specific as possible about what you want. Do you have any kids with you? Pets? Talk about food, maybe interests and priorities. The more information basically you give to ChatGPT and an AI, the better the output will be. Tell the AI when it's wrong or when it actually misunderstood something, and you will be able to have more accurate answers throughout your AI journey. So what are the best AI sources for travel? Well, most of the travel platforms currently available are built on top of OpenAI's ChatGPT. By using those interfaces, you will actually use ChatGPT. But you can think of Trip Notes, Roam Around, or Curiosio, if I'm saying that right. I will put the link in the description box. You have a user-friendly web interface that is actually using ChatGPT that makes browsing for travel more pleasant and interactive by using maps, pre-planned road trip routes, and many other features. You can also just use ChatGPT plots to get access to plugins like Kayak, Expedia, Trip, OpenTable, and other plans to travel. So the first question you might ask yourself when you want to travel is destination. What is the destination I want to pick? So the best uses of AI for travel currently fall largely into the planning and purchasing phase. All the excitement around booking a trip can quickly become overwhelming when travelers are faced with a lot of options that requires a lot of research. Many AI platforms use actually ChatGPT, which you can use for free in browser or through an iOS app, or even Android as you wish. Something that I really love to do is using AI for any trip recommendation. When I say using AI, I'm using most of the time ChatGPT. So if you want to be adventurous, it's easy to get some destination from ChatGPT by giving a prompt which include your budget. What are you looking for in terms of style of traveling? Are you looking for adventure? Do you actually just want to relax? You will also try to include the time frame. And on top of that, I also, of course, probably just like you, have a running list of different countries that I'd love to visit one day, so I can actually also pick from this list. And personally, I just love entering into travel planning with a very open mind because it really allows you to be able to take advantage of any deals or opportunities and just be flexible. And speaking of opportunities, this trip to the US was actually not part of 2023 agenda. So my partner's brother actually got a business opportunity and we will be tagging along to enjoy some time together, and the three of us once he will be done with work. And it is important to take the opportunities and be as flexible as you can. So now we can actually talk about budget, because of course it is very, very important. So personally, when it comes to planning for travel, I am not really the type of person who likes to have a plan for how I'm going to spend every single euros or dollars on my trip. I want to stay flexible, but that being said, I think it's really important to have a budget range, at least, that you're going to work with, and it is important to know what range it is before booking anything. It's going to impact where you want to go, what you can do. Setting up a price range can help you determine your upcoming destination. Is it 500 a ticket? Is it 1,000? Is it 3,000? What is an actual comfortable range for you? Again, by using AI, you can get a pretty good idea of the cost of living in the country you are looking for, and it can help you for sure to determine your budget. You can create a spreadsheet on ChatGPT just by following the tips and tricks that we previously talked about. A quick pro tip also is to check the exchange rate. It is very important because you will probably or maybe have a difference between your currency and the country's currency. I think the last important thing before making any hard plans is to pick a time frame for your travel. So of course, if you are in my position and you are actually taking the opportunity to actually meet a close one, you won't have the possibility to pick a time frame. But I do think that this is an edge case, and for most of your trip you'll be able to planning a long time ahead, and you will have the possibility to choose when you are traveling. So in most countries there's going to be a peak season and also an off season, and most of the time, of course, summer is the peak season and winter is the off season. However, if you are going to the mountains, of course it can be the total opposite. And so whether you want to visit the peak season or the off season, it's just important to know the pros and the cons of each, because that's going to play a huge role in what the weather will be and how much you will pay for certain activities. So if you are traveling during the peak seasons, you will probably be able to take advantage of some beautiful weather, but at the same time, you will be paying extra money for pretty much everything. And we actually can say that it's the opposite for the off season. AI in that case can also be very useful in finding responses to prompts like less crowded, underrated. This is because, unlike Yelp or TripAdvisor or Google, the system pulls knowledge from all corners of the web and interprets results to fit your query best. So it is very important for you to ask yourself, what is the most important for me and the person I'm traveling with? Because you might be interested only in good and perfect weather. Well, in that case, I do believe that the peak season would be best. If you want to compromise, there's a solution. If you want to have a good weather and at the same time some affordable prices when it comes to activities, restaurants, and hotels, then we can actually pick what we call the shoulder month. They are actually between peak and off seasons, and you might find some pretty good deals within that month. So again, asking ChatGPT for those shoulder months, depending on the countries, could be very good for you. So flights. One of the best uses of AI for travel is coordinate multiple flights and suggest destinations. So you'll still need to go to booking sites to both book and verify the pricing. So when you are trying to book your flights, you actually have to ask you two questions. The first one is, do you have flexibility? If you change your departure or return date by up to 3 days, you might be able to save some money. Most of the websites are giving you those dates and prices by clicking clicking on a calendar icon when you actually set up your dates, and they show you in green, they can show you in orange or red which days is cheaper to actually use to actually book your flight. Accommodation, you have many options here: hotel, motel, camping, Airbnb, RVs, and most of the time I like to consider hotels and Airbnbs. I do love Airbnb because you really can find some amazing place to stay. However, I feel like it was a little bit cheaper a few years ago, and now that is true. I think that I can find hotel places and rooms cheaper than Airbnbs. So whether you decide to go for Airbnb or a hotel, just make sure to always look at the reviews of the location before making a reservation. So for my specific occasion, and as it's a road trip, I'll be living in an RV. That is the easiest option for us. We don't need to book any hotel or Airbnb, any room or places, and we can sleep wherever we want, and this is actually exactly what I wanted. ChatGPT will be perfect to look for an accommodation in your price range. That is a plus, and it will save some time for sure. But of course, always double check the information. So, can we use AI for everything when it comes to traveling? The answer is no. Actually, AI and ChatGPT can collect general information with 70 to 80% accuracy. So the current iteration of AI is only as good as the data it's pulling in. In this video, I just really wanted to share with you how I plan my trip and encourage you to really use AI on a daily basis. I know it can be overwhelming because you really have to think about 100 things at a time, but I wanted to be as helpful as possible by giving you all my tips and tricks to feel as ready as you can. Please, if you have any more tips to share with the community, I will be so happy if you could put it in the comments. Until the next video, follow your dream, stay cozy, and I'll see you soon.